Well, Ricky, we've got a bit of great celebration in there for the guys, I suppose. What did you make of that 80 minutes? And I suppose, how's your heart rate towards the back end?
Yeah, it's not fun watching those types of games. I mean, we got to a bit of a lead, and then, I don't know if, respectfully, if you guys understand, we're playing against a football team that's so desperate playing for this season. Yeah. They've got some good footy players in that team. They've scored a couple of nice tries off a kick. A couple of kicks, one over Jed's head, one off a close to the goal line there, and it's hard playing against a footy team like that are attacking so well, and they're getting the bounce of the ball. But yet then we scored a couple of long range tries. It's one of those games that we found a way to win it.
Kyle Weeks, so he opened up that, he put you guys ahead before you went into the break. I think looking at 284 run metres, 3 tries, 10 tackle busts. Like, is that one of the best performances you've seen from your fullback?
Well, it's not. It's up there. I think it was the moments that Kyo created for us. The one just before half time. Then again the 2 tackle breaks. I mean, they had players in positions to make those tackles. That's not a lucky try. They had players in positions to make those tackles on Kyo on their kick chase. So, that comes back to poor ability in missing those tackles, and great ability in regards to Kyo being strong at the line and finding the space. But then he had a lot of work to do. He still had 55, 60 metres to go, and he beat Gutherson's tackle and got there in the end. That was, from an individual piece of brilliance, that was right up there. And he's a he just takes our team to another level.
Do you see that often at training? Is that something that he's continually working on, or is it freakish ability, or is he doing stuff that you're seeing as a coach that you admire?
It's a good question, because at the start of the season, when we get written off that we're going to be the wooden spooners, not one of those self-confessed experts come to our training and have a look at what we do. Not one of those self-confessed experts come to our training and see what players we've got in certain positions and the skill and their ability. I was that confident we were going to be a good team this year. No, I didn't think we were going to be where we are today. But their hard work, commitment, our leadership, their buy-in has got us in a healthy position at the moment. But we don't take it for granted. We just keep working hard. The Kyo Weeks, Sav, Matty Tomoko and Sevi Chris, a number of those younger players. We know what the Joe Taps, Hudson's, Papas, Corey's can do. Tommy Starling. I mean, Tommy Starling's playing his best year of his career. I see that. So that gives me belief and confidence going into the season. That's why I'm not. This doesn't surprise me in regards to how we're winning games.
Jamal's kicking game tonight, particularly that torpedo. Couldn't catch it. He said he learned it off. You work directly with him in his kicking game.
And Andrew Bishop does his kicking and all the execution and technique. I talk to him about the strategy of kicking, and I always want my players to be able to spiral and or push floaters in. And many times I've had players will practice it, and I'll say, I don't want you to practice it anymore because you don't put it into the game. Jamal does. You got to have courage to be able to kick a spiral or a floater, because you've got a great. There's also a percentage of it goes over the sideline on the full. I don't care if it goes over the full on the sideline on the full. I want them to show the courage.
Perhaps Corey Horsburgh tonight in that forward pack alongside yourself. How did you think he went out there in what is it, big role to fill in Papa Lee's spot?
Yeah, I think he was solid. I think a couple of the young boys like Trey stepped up as well. Utter. They got challenged at half time to come out and start the second half good, and I thought they'd done that. And yeah, certain patch we probably let off, but like I say every week, it's a work on.
How does it feel to be outright 2 points ahead of the comp at this point. Your coach said you had belief. You still got to buy up your sleeve to come, and the two left rather. So how does that sort of feel and sit with you as a leader?
Yeah, it's nice. Going into the bye as well. Spend some nice time with the family and kick back and get a couple of days away from footy, refresh everyone and come back in ready to do the job on the back end.
Joe, are you after the hip drop? It looked a bit awkward and you came off a bit afterwards. How are you?
Nah, I'm alright. Yeah, all good. Just got a nice little rest there by mistake, and I was a bit fast. The finger was a bit bothering me a bit this week, but got a nice little rest and finished the game a bit.
Gives a good opportunity too. When we got out to a lead, to give some of those boys, Trey, Utter, Owen, to give them some minutes, because I'll look at how I can get the minutes, how even pushing a couple of them back to cup at some stage, because going into the back end of the year they need to have minutes in case there's a situation of they've got to go out and play 50 or 60. But they're wonderful, those younger players. If you have a look at the average age of our team out there with 20 to go, it would be very, very young.
So Ricky, you just mentioned there the Dragons fighting for their spot there. Do you put it more on them being that desperate play, that really, roll the dice type play, or was it more you guys kind of taking your foot off the pedal a bit there at the back end?
Where do you reckon we took the foot off the pedal?
Sorry, poor choice of words.
Yeah, and probably poor question too when you ask Shane about his son. I think it's a disgrace how you guys in the media are just absolutely bashing a kid publicly. I said you guys in the media.
Okay.
And you asked a question there about his booing. I mean, honestly, I've got a son playing, and that's my biggest fear. You people, not him, but the media. The way he's been portrayed in the media at the moment, that poor kid. And I went up to him and I grabbed him after the game and took him aside and spoke to him. I've known him since he's been a little boy. He was the lead tonight. He led the charge in regards to getting that team back into that game. I think it's a disgrace what his so-called supporters, the so-called Dragon supporters, the social media, the bullshit that he has to listen to and cop. It's something I just don't like. He's a better football player than he's been given credit for. The way that boy has handled that from a mental point of view to being able to turn up every week, and he said, I'm tough enough, I'll handle it. I know he is, but it's awful. He led the charge for that team tonight, and they nearly come back on the back of him winning that game.
It becomes almost more than just footy. It's not about footy at the end of the day when it becomes this sort of...
It becomes a game. It becomes a game for the media reporting what social media says. You got to have a look at some of these people who are actually being... It'd be torture for his mother. I know his old man will handle it, but it'd be torture for his mother and his sisters. You imagine if it was one of yours. That's when it becomes real.
So what do you say to the Raiders fans that were booing you quite loudly in the first half?
Were they all Raiders fans, were they?
Well, it was coming from our side of the stand. It seemed that way.
They always boo a goal kicker. How many games do you go to? I want them to boo their goal kicker.
Okay.
I want our Raiders fan. They can throw cans at him for all I care. I want them to boo a bloody goal kicker.
Okay.
That's their job. I've been out at Seaford Oval where the cars were there. There wasn't a car there blowing a horn at the bloody opposition goal kicker. Anyhow, thank you.